Recognize the senator from Illinois.
I thank the senator from Oregon for his leadership on this bill, which I'm proud to co-sponsor. I want to respond to my friend and colleague from the state of Wyoming and say when he goes back in time looking at the votes on nominees, don't overlook the J.D. Vance precedent. J.D. Vance, then senator from Ohio, came to the floor of the United States Senate and objected to any type of vocal arrangement oral vote when it came to the approval of U.S. attorneys. He said that he wanted all of them to go through the regular order. That stopped under President Biden, the appointment of all U.S. attorneys. So to argue that they have clean hands in this situation is to ignore the Vice President's former status, establishing a standard that made it impossible to consider U.S. attorneys on a voice vote. Let me say about the issue before us on Epstein. 2 weeks after the Senate confirmed Pam Bondi as Attorney General, she told Fox News, the mothership, the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients was sitting on my desk right now to review. 6 days later, Bondi released a binder of documents related to these mega influencers. But these documents were largely already publicly available. The absence of any client list led to immense blowback. Attorney General Bondi returned to Fox News and made another startling claim. She said that a whistleblower told her the FBI withheld, quote, thousands of pages of documents, and the country would see, quote, the full Epstein files. Over the next 4 months, DOJ and FBI were silent on the issue until an unsigned July 7th memo was issued, finding that, quote, systemic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened during the 4 months between Attorney General Bondi's blockbuster claims in February and this July 7th memorandum? My office received a highly credible whistleblower disclosure describing Attorney General Bondi's pressure on the FBI to quickly review and produce more Epstein documents. For 2 weeks in late March, the FBI assigned approximately 1,000 professional personnel in its information division and hundreds of additional agents from the New York field office to work 24-hour shifts to review and produce more documents. These officials were told to, quote, flag any records which mentioned President Trump. Essentially, agents were pulled out of the field from their work combating violent crime to review these documents. Other important work was effectively shut down. Using tens of thousands of personnel hours at the expense of public safety for no other reason than try to bolster baseless claims they made is reckless. President Trump has not helped the situation. Despite his administration continuing making promises about transparency on Epstein and the existence of records they have not produced, he's currently telling the country that it's all, quote, a scam. Last month, President Trump posted on his personal social media that, quote, my past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will. This is the way the president is talking about his own constituents who are raising concerns about the claims that President Trump's own administration have repeatedly raised. President Trump and Attorney General Bondi are directly responsible for this confusion and mistrust. They owe Congress and the American people full transparency. Instead, the situation gets more murky when Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is being interviewed by one of the highest-ranking members of the administration. We don't know what the conversation is. We sent a letter and said we want full disclosure to both sides of the aisle on what they discussed, and we want to make sure there are no promises of pardon and clemency for her to speak. She's serving a 20-year term for human trafficking and exploitation of children. The prosecutor said she was not a credible witness, and that we ought to take that into consideration. We consider her role. So I support Senator Merkley's bill. I'm sorry there was an objection. I yield the floor.